Hey everyone, Miss Lerner here. I am here to go over the Unit 11 review. I'm trying out this new program, Screencastify, so bear with me. I'm trying to do what I can do here. Okay, so let's see. Unit 11 review activities. Use the extension icon. Change it to my current tab. Record this tab. Okay, so here we go. Based upon our knowledge of testing and intelligence, going back through kind of like the history of intelligence and the key figures and the theories of intelligence, we had Charles Spearman. He, remember, was the G factor guy, spearmint gum. And he figured out that most people who excelled in one type of intelligence also excelled in another through what we call factor analysis. Okay. L.L. Thurstone deviated from Spearman in that he thought there were 7 primary factors of intelligence. Howard Gardner, remember, when you garden, you want to plant as many fruits and vegetables as possible. So he thought there was at least 8 different types of intelligence, multiple intelligences, things like spatial intelligence and bodily kinesthetic intelligence and existential intelligence and intrapersonal intelligence, inward, and inter, meaning between people. Some supporting arguments for this view were savant syndrome and brain damage. Okay. Because like with savants, they can excel in one specific thing, whereas they are kind of deficient in another. What did the Pac-Man Robert Sternberg suggest about intelligence? That there were 3 types. He really was into this triarchic theory, triangular theory of intelligence. Practical, analytical, and creative. And analytical is the type of intelligence that we typically think about. Practical is going to be street smart. Creative is divergent thought, problem solving ability, etc. Why wouldn't we have a standardized test that measures creativity? Because they measure convergent thought, not divergent thought, and that is what creativity is. Okay. The specific components of creativity: expertise, your imagination, being adventurous, having intrinsic motivation coming from within you, and a creative environment. Eugenics was proposed by Francis Galton, and it was this horrific movement to try to genetically engineer what they thought were like the most desirable traits, including highly intelligent people that did well on IQ tests. So Stern was the one who came up with the IQ quotient, the intelligence quotient. He was going to, what's the matter? Do you want to sit on me? Well, okay. He was the one that took mental age, which was Benet's type of thinking, and my TA is very cute, right? Isn't she cute? Say hi, Ellie. Say hi. No? Okay. So it took mental age and divided it by chronological age and then multiplied by 100. IQ doesn't apply to older people because mental age doesn't really actually change much in adulthood. What? You love me? Oh, that's so sweet. Why don't you tell my students you love them? Say, look over here and say, I love you. The eugenics movement drove a lot of disgusting things like sterilization of about 60,000 women, and the Nazis killing of hundreds of thousands of people. Okay, so it was this idea to genetically engineered people ended up with having devastational results. Okay, part 2. If a test is reliable, it means that it yields consistent results. Okay, remember, reliability is going to mean that you get the same results each time. Mrs. Cho is careful to make sure that she fairly represents the whole year's work on the final exam for her American literature class. If Mrs. Cho achieves this goal, her test will have content validity. As far as heritability goes, the psychological jackpot is monozygotic twins that are raised apart to see whether a trait is heritable. Remember, the heritability was the amount of variation within a group that can be attributable to genes and genes alone. So if intelligence is highly heritable, it just means that it has a large genetic component. Spearman argued that intelligence could be boiled down to one ability known as G. Say G. Say G. Oh, come on. Robert Sternberg's triarchic theory of intelligence against this analytical, creative, practical. I need to get better at this and be able to you want to get off? Okay. I need to get better at this, but essentially I would be able to draw. I was hoping I could draw this, but I don't know. Let me try for a second. Oh, jeez. It's kind of hard. Well. Okay, here's the normal curve. Okay, here's the normal curve of intelligence. Gosh, my drawing ability is really, really excellent right now. You got 3 standard deviations in each direction. And my daughter's going to dive bomb me again, so just be... Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so we know that this would be, 100. And if the standard deviations were, oh god, she just passed gas in my face. I don't know what to tell you right now. 85. Oh, Ellie, come on. And 115. And we know that within that 85 to 115, why? 68% of the population. And so this would be 34. And this then would be 50 minus 34, which is 16. Wow, that was pretty bad. I need to be better at this. But as my famous mantra says, Mama tries. Mama tries. Really tries. Paul takes a standardized test in the Army to see if he would make a good pilot. So, wow. Such a test is called an aptitude test because he hasn't learned how to be a pilot yet. All right. So hopefully I can figure out next week or this weekend or something, a way that we can all kind of talk to one another. I would love to see some of your faces. And I'd like to teach like at the time that I can, so it could be more authentic. I'm doing the best I can. As you can tell, I'm usually covered in one or two children, and sometimes my dog as well. So I hope that you guys are hanging in there. This is something that we're all trying to just navigate through, and I hope we can do it together. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.